Quick little thumbnail shot there. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Ha! I don't know what that was. I used to do Bible videos on this channel every day. I'd read a chapter of the Bible and kind of just talk about it on here. And I want to bring that back, all right? I want to bring that back. I want to keep on doing it. I stopped doing it because I started feeling a little bit stressed about there being that many people. I mean, there's only like 500 subscribers, but like every episode we get a couple hundred people, and that's a lot of people. And it's a serious subject, so it made me a little nervous to post on here. But I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep going. I feel like it's a good thing to do every single day. So you can see me every day on here now, unless I give up, which I won't. Try to make sure that I won't. But I want to go through. I want to read Esther. Esther is a good book of the Bible. You know, I feel like when a lot of people think of the Bible, they think of like these verses that tell you like what to do, what not to do, and all this stuff. It's like, it seems boring. But dude, the Bible has some goated stories, and like I low-key be forgetting that. There's some fun stories in the Bible. Like Esther's a really good one, and I think of the VeggieTale movies. If you guys grew up Christian, you probably watched VeggieTales. Absolute classics, bro. The Rubber Duckies, the why can I not think of anything else? The one where the walls of Jericho, where they slap people with fish. I don't know. But low-key, the Bible is cooking with these stories, right? So we're gonna go through Esther together, all right? And I don't know. I feel like I don't realize how incredible these stories are in the Bible until recently. Like for example, the story of Esther, like, and all these other stories in the Bible, you don't realize until you come back and read the stories how much these Bible stories have influenced culture and storytelling and just entertainment in general. So like movies, other books, TV shows, like they all take the same storytelling structures from the Bible because these stories were like the first stories ever. Because they're real things that happened, but like God wrote these stories in real life, which is cool, which is really cool. And like, I don't know, you don't realize, you think these stories are basic, and then you realize these are the first stories ever. And like every show, movie, book, plot, like they're taking inspiration from the Bible, whether they realize it or not. It kind of reminds me of, I watched The Matrix for the first time last year, which is crazy. First time ever watching The Matrix. And I realized while I was watching the movie how many other shows, movies, YouTube videos that I've watched that have made references to The Matrix, and I had no idea. Like, that movie has influenced so much of pop culture, and I had no idea. I would just watch these shows and they would make a Matrix reference and it would go right over my head. But then I'm watching The Matrix and I'm like, wait, this show that I watched and this YouTube video that I watched and this meme and this blah, 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 like these all come back to this one movie that I'm just now watching. And I just feel like I'm getting it all of a sudden. And that's how I feel rereading the Bible and all these stories, is like, this story is so similar to this movie that I love, or this show that I like, or this book that I read. And it's like, you realize that like the Bible has every type of storytelling structure in it already, and other forms of media have just taken inspiration from it, whether they realize it or not. And I think that's so cool. Like, God is the ultimate storyteller, bro. Like, these stories are crazy. So let's go through Esther together. Last time I would just read it before I started recording, then talk about it. I'm gonna read it. Let's read it together. Why don't you open your Bible to Esther chapter 1 and we can read it together. All right. Chapter 1, verse 1. These events happened in the days of King Xerxes. Is it pronounced Xerxes? Xerxes. Let's see. Xerxes. Okay. Xerxes. All right. These events happened in the days of King Xerxes, who reigned over 127 provinces stretching from India to Ethiopia. So he's a powerful guy. He's like Mr. Beast. I need to log off. At that time, Xerxes ruled his empire from his royal throne at the fortress of Susa. In the 3rd year of his reign, he gave a banquet for all his nobles and officials. I don't know why I said it like that. He invited all the military officers of Persia and Media, as well as the princes and nobles of the provinces. Wow, this is a crazy party. This is like the Beast Games premiere. Okay, buddy. The celebration lasted 180 days, a tremendous display of the opulent wealth of his empire and the pomp and splendor of his majesty. These are some crazy words. So they're just celebrating with all the most important people. They're celebrating King Xerxes and his majesty. When it was all over, the king gave a banquet for all the people, from the greatest to the least, who were in the fortress of Susa. Okay, so greatest and the least. Seems nice. It lasted for 7 days and was held in the courtyard of the palace garden. The courtyard was beautifully decorated with white cotton curtains and blue hangings, which were fastened with white linen cords and purple ribbons to silver rings embedded in marble pillars. It's like painting a picture in my head of like the most luxurious, majestic place. Where was I? Gold and silver couches stood on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Is mother of pearl real? I thought people just said like holy mother of pearl or something. I didn't know like mother of pearl is like a material. The more you know. Drinks were served in gold goblets of many designs, and there was an abundance of royal wine, reflecting the king's generosity. By edict of the king, no limits were placed on the drinking, for the king had instructed all his palace officials to serve each man as much as he wanted. At the same time, Queen Vashti gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of King Xerxes. Okay, so it looks like King Xerxes is throwing his party for the men, and Queen Vashti is giving a banquet for the women. If I'm gathering that correctly. So there's like two separate ones going on, I guess. This next little section is called Queen Vashti Deposed. Uh-oh. I don't think deposed means something good. Does it? Now I can't remember. On the 7th day of the feast, when King Xerxes was in high spirits because of the wine, drunk, is a better way to put it, he told the 7 eunuchs who attended him, Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, interesting name, Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass. These are some interesting names. We should start naming our kids that. This is my son Carcass and my daughter Bigtha. Okay. To bring Queen Vashti to him with the royal crown on her head, he wanted the nobles and all the other men to gaze on her beauty, for she was a very beautiful woman. Interesting. Okay, so King Xerxes wants his wife to come out with the royal crown on her head and just kind of like show off how smoking hot she is to all of his friends and all of his peers, I guess, just to show off. But when they conveyed the king's order to Queen Vashti, she refused to come. This made the king furious, and he burned with anger. So she doesn't want to show off in front of all of his friends. She wants to hang with the ladies in the ladies' banquet. He immediately consulted with his wise advisors, who knew all the Persian laws and customs, for he always asked their advice. The names of these men were Karshana, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, 7 nobles of Persia and Media. They met with the king regularly and held the highest positions in the empire. So this is like his version of ChatGPT. This is who he goes to whenever he has a question. All right, he had ChatGPT before any of us. He would just ask them questions, and they would discuss among themselves. Just 7 guys, and they would tell him what he should do. So this is the first ChatGPT that anyone has ever had. What must be done to Queen Vashti? The king demanded. What penalty does the law provide for a queen who refuses to obey the king's orders, properly sent through his eunuchs? So he wants to figure out what he can do to punish her for not listening to him. Memucan answered the king and his nobles, Queen Vashti has wronged not only the king, but also every noble and citizen throughout your empire. Women everywhere will begin to despise their husbands when they learn that Queen Vashti has refused to appear before the king. Okay, so he doesn't want the women of the land to be influenced by this independent woman. Like, no, they need to all submit to their husbands and not make any decisions on their own. And if they hear that the queen herself is making her own decisions and not listening to the king, man, they're gonna start being independent, and the king does not want that. That's for sure. Before this day is out, the wives of all the king's nobles throughout Persia and Media will hear what the queen did and will start treating their husbands the same. Oh, I think I already read that. No, I didn't. They will start treating their husbands the same way. There will be no end to their contempt and anger. So if it please the king, we suggest that you issue a written decree, a law of the Persians and Medes that cannot be revoked. It should order that the queen Vashti be forever banished from the presence of King Xerxes, and that the king should choose another queen more worthy than she. Holy cow. So they're just kicking out the queen. Like, you didn't want to show off in front of the king's friends? You're gone. You're banned. You're banned. We're going to find a new queen to replace you. Let's see. When this decree is published throughout the king's vast empire, husbands everywhere, whatever their rank, will receive proper respect from their wives. Ha! Finally! Yes! Yes! We have to make it illegal to disagree with your husband. It's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Should get Hannah on that law. I'm kidding. That sounds bad. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Okay. The king and his nobles thought this made good sense, so he followed Memucan's counsel. He sent letters to all parts of the empire, to each province in its own script and language, proclaiming that every man should be the ruler of his own home and should say whatever he pleases. And that is the end of chapter 1. And Esther hasn't even been established yet. We don't even know who Esther is, but we will find out probably tomorrow. So I think this book is really good. I love a good story, like books like Esther, Job, the different stories in Genesis and Exodus. Like, dude, they're just so fun. And a lot of times they're not fun. Like, a lot of times they're terrible as far as like things that happen in them. But like, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, I don't know. I get hyped when I read like Esther and this, like, I don't know. It just seems like it almost seems like a movie. And this is like the first act, you know, like the first act. They're setting up everything. Like, they're setting the scene. They're like, the king had an issue with his wife. He's kicking her out, and they needed a new queen. And I think we know who they're going to try to get to the next queen based on the title of this book. So, yeah, come back tomorrow, and we can go through it together again. I don't know. This should be fun to listen to, maybe if you're driving somewhere or just to start out your day while you eat breakfast, you know. I don't know. Just listen to me read you the Bible. It's the most ADHD audiobook of all time. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.